Imagine if OpenClaw had its own dedicated inbox, actually remembered every conversation you've had with it, and could browse the web without draining your API credits. The problem is, out of the box, it has none of that. No email, a keyword-only memory that breaks every other day, and a default browser that burns tokens faster than most people even realize. In this video, I'm going to show you 3 free tools that have completely changed the game for my OpenClaw setup. So you can give your agent a real inbox it can read and send from, memory that searches the way humans actually think, and a browser that burns up 93% fewer tokens. Even if you've never set up a tool like this before. Everything here is free and open source. Links are down below. If you don't know who I am, my name is Jimmy Barkway. I run an AI startup, so if you haven't already, grab yourself a fresh cup of tea and let's dive straight in. Now, before we kick off, I've put this all together into a Notion guide so you can follow along as we go. And the link to that is in the description. Just come into my community, go to Classroom, go to the AI Vault, and then just hit this button right here for the Notion guide, and that'll take you here. So today I'm going to show you how to set up 3 free tools that actually make your OpenClaw useful. They're all completely open source, either on a free tier or free forever, and it does not take very long to set these up. The problem with OpenClaw is it is missing a few things out of the box. I tried setting one up with a Gmail, but after further research, it looks like there are risks of banning if you don't have a real person using a Gmail account. So agents need their own inbox to be able to manage, receive, and send emails that is designed specifically for agents. Memory works based off of keywords, which isn't as reliable as it could be. By default, it uses Playwright for internet search, which is very token heavy, much like Claude's Chrome extension browser as well, both of which drain tokens like crazy, not very well optimized. So you're going to hit your limits pretty quick. Agent Mail gives you a dedicated inbox built for AI agents first. Y Combinator have fully backed this, which is a really good sign. And there is no ban risk because this is designed for agents. Memory, we're going to be using QMD memory with a local hybrid search by Toby Luque. Again, link for that down below. It uses a keyword and a vector search and an LLM re-ranker, which is just a fancy way of saying that it is agent optimized memory, kind of like a RAG system, which is retrieval augmented generation. Just a fancy way of saying it's memory that is well optimized for agents, and it can store a ton of data like your PDFs, like markdown files, even images. And the agent can access that memory without having to pull all of it into the context window at the same time, which also works great for reducing tokens. And finally, Vercel have released the agent browser, which is completely open source, easy to install, and uses 93% fewer tokens than OpenClaw's default browser. We're going to install Agent Mail using ClawHub, which is dead simple. I'll show you how to do that. It's going to allow OpenClaw to read, send, forward emails, so it can act as your personal assistant, which is what it was designed for. And QMD memory is finding things within its memory system based off of how the user asks, which is much more like how if somebody asks me something, the way my brain processes that question is it focuses on the question and the kind of answer that I think they might want, rather than an SQL keyword match that doesn't always produce the best results. If you were to only do one upgrade today, I would make it this one. This is powerful. Something else to note about the Vercel agent browser is not only is it completely open source, but it also has built-in prompt injection guardrails. Now, prompt injection is just a way for hackers to be able to throw prompts into your agents to convince it to do things that you might not necessarily want, like leaking your API keys, for example, so they can run their agents off of your money. Not ideal. So we are completely upgrading OpenClaw, getting it much closer to that autonomous AI assistant that we're all dreaming of. Now, to start with, you're going to need to install Claude Code. And you might be asking yourself, why don't we just ask OpenClaw to install all of these for us? And the reason for that is because Claude Code is simply better at writing code. If any problems arise at all, then Claude Code is the best one to fix it. OpenClaw, you could be going back and forth with it over terminal for hours. Trust me, I've been there. Claude Code turns this process from hours into 10 minutes. So you can download that at claude.ai/downloads. Now, if you've never installed OpenClaw before, and I'm talking complete gibberish to you, then you should definitely check out this video right now, because I run through how to set up OpenClaw on a Mac Mini or a VPS or even on your local machine using Google's latest open source Gemma 4 model, which means that you can run OpenClaw completely free, never having to use API credits, never have to use expensive models again. So check that out, and once you're back, we can crack on. AgentMail is what's going to be powering this first tool for us on OpenClaw. You can see backed by Y Combinator, $6 million in seed funding, so they're doing pretty well at the minute. And if you come to their pricing page, they have a very generous free tier, 3 inboxes, 3,000 emails per month, and a reasonable amount of storage. And we can get started by just hitting start for free, and then you can just log in with your Google account. Once that's done, it'll take you to a page like this, and you can just hit next, give you a wee walkthrough, go through the onboarding, why not? Inboxes, create a new inbox, and call this one OpenClaw. We'll just keep it the standard domain for now. Looks like that inbox is taken. Let's try JB OpenClaw. And that one worked fine. Let's click into it so we can view it. Inbox is ready. And it's given us an email address. We can just copy that and use it anywhere. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly forward on a newsletter from my personal email. This email has arrived. Click to read it and you're all set. And there it is. So we've got fully functional inbox ready to go. So next we're going to need to install this onto our OpenClaw so that it can actually use this inbox. And we can do this straight from ClawHub. So this is essentially a directory of skills and plugins for AI agents. Now, quick disclaimer for this. There have been reports of malware from some of the community skills and plugins on here. So exercise caution when using this. Do your due diligence and don't install anything unless you trust the source. So I'm just going to copy this URL. But just before we go to Claude Code, so ask it to install this for us, we need to get our API key, and you can do that just on the left here, and then create a new API key. And then you can choose to either restrict its permissions to only do certain things, or you can just give it full access and create the API key. And to save me blocking this out on screen, I will rotate this after this video. And then it even gives us a nice little prompt for coding agents as well. So you might as well copy that too. Now for the fun bit, we can actually get this installed. So come into your Claude Code, open this up in your OpenClaw directory just here. I'll just zoom in on this for you so it's a bit easy to see. And you can paste in that prompt. And just at the top, we'll put, hey Claude, I want you to look at installing claudehub.ai. Have a look at its documentation and then find out how to install the AgentMail skill for OpenClaw so that it can manage its own inbox that I've already created for it. And then prompt me and tell me where to enter the API key for AgentMail and let me know when that's done. Also download and install the official AgentMail skill from ClaudeHub. Then I'm going to set this to the latest Opus model, which is Opus 4.7, dropped literally a day or two ago. So this is a good opportunity to test it out. Let's set it off. Looks like I misspelled ClaudeHub. It's actually ClawHub. So gladly, Claude Code is smart enough to figure that out for me. Okay, it's installing the AgentMail skill from ClawHub. Now it's asking where it wants us to put the API key. You can either paste it into the chat window or you can put it into a .env file, which is a way more secure way to do it. If anyone gets access to your laptop, then they will have access to your chat windows as well, and they can get your API keys that way, so it's not very secure. So I'm going to show you how to do it in a .env file instead. Okay, then we can just edit our env file from inside Claude now because of its new update. Thanks to its new update, we can do that. So you just paste that in here like so, and then hit save. But if it hits you with an error like this file can't be saved, then you just need to hit copy right there, and that'll copy that to clipboard, and you can come into your Finder, edit the file in a text editor, and you can do it that way instead. I had to make the folder visible within my Finder, but that's done now. And it can see the inbox. The ping has come back HTTP 200, which means everything's okay. OpenClaw now has ClawHub AgentMail skill installed, the AgentMail API key, and live API access to its inbox, ready to manage its own email. And let's come back over to OpenClaw and say, hey OpenClaw, can you use the AgentMail skill to look at my AgentMail API key and pull the latest email within your inbox and then summarize that for me here in the chat. Okay, so it found my JB OpenClaw agent mail email address. It's gone ahead and grabbed the full content from its own email inbox. And it can see I received an email from Julian Goldie about Hermes and OpenClaw, the 100K roadmap gone soon. It's a marketing email from Julian promoting his boardroom community. The pitch is essentially everyone's learning to build AI agents using tools like Hermes and OpenClaw, but almost nobody's learning the business side. TLDR, a sales email using your products as a hook, not requiring any action. Interesting that someone's already building a business curriculum around Hermes and OpenClaw though. Could be worth keeping an eye on as a potential collab angle for your channel. Not a bad idea, OpenClaw. Thank you for that. So it works. OpenClaw now has a fully working agent mail email address that it can send, receive, view emails. Feel free to send emails over to it. You can set up an automation to send emails to it. And the sky's the limit here from this point. Next, we're going to install the QMD memory for OpenClaw. This is a mini CLI search engine for your docs, knowledge bases, meeting notes, whatever it is, while keeping it all local. And it uses a very intelligent search method to really give OpenClaw a much better brain overall. So you can just copy this code, HTTPS link right here. And before we go back to Claude Code, it's worth noting that this was built by the CEO of Shopify. So just to give it some credibility, one thing that might also be useful for Claude Code is if you go to the memory docs, I'll put a link for that down below for OpenClaw, then you can feed this into Claude Code, gives it a bit of context, helps it along a bit. And we'll come back into Claude Code. I've done a fresh session because it's a good idea to reset your chat window on every new task. Reason being is because every chat message you send to Claude eats up the context window. And as you eat up more of your context window, you can think of this as more money being spent. And also, as it gets closer to around the 50% mark of its context window, even if it's 1 million tokens in the context, as it gets closer to that mark, Claude Code gets dumber, just like every other AI. So you can start a new session just there, paste in the OpenClaw memory docs, and also the QMD memory as well. Hey, Claude, could you install the QMD so that we can query markup documents and have a look at the OpenClaw memory for context? And turn this into a reusable skill so that OpenClaw can use this quite easily. This is one of those non-negotiable essential upgrades because the ROI is just insane. And it looks like that's done. Hey Claude, what are the top 3 main benefits of installing this for OpenClaw? Really want to hammer this home. The agent can search its own knowledge base instead of rereading agents.md, soul.md, and memory.md and all skill docs from scratch each session. It can run a query and get the most relevant chunks instantly, especially useful as the workspace grows. So we're not just adding better memory, we're adding scalability to this. That's the real thing. The masterclass lessons become queryable context. The agent can pull specific guidance from L1 to L8 on demand. That is my OpenClaw masterclass I put together, and I've fed that into its memory, and it's got hybrid search built into there. Basically, it uses less tokens and infinitely more scalable. So it correctly surfaces your memory and soul files, not just files that literally contain the keywords that you are searching for. Makes the search a lot smarter as well. Last thing we're going to install today is the Vercel agent browser. And to do that, just come to agent browser on GitHub. Link will be down below again. And you can just copy this once more. Nice and easy. It's a browser automation CLI for your AI agents. Come back over to OpenClaw, brand new chat window again. Hey Claude, can you install this on my machine and then configure OpenClaw to use the Vercel agent browser anytime it wants to browse the internet in any capacity? All set, here's what was done. Agent browser installed globally via npm and new settings built for the OpenClaw project. When OpenClaw needs to browse the web in this project, it will use agent browser, and it looks like it's installed it for itself as well. Okay, and then I went back into Telegram and asked it for the latest goings on the Hacker News Y Combinator website. Top stories, Claude Opus 4.7 just dropped, Anthropic's new model. We've got a new open source model by the looks of it. OpenAI pushing Codex hard. I think I saw that video. And a ton more. And even a recommendation for what to cover for my channel. Pretty good. So we just added a dedicated email inbox for our agent. Super efficient memory. and a new super web search tool for OpenClaw. Each took only a few minutes to set up, but fundamentally changes how OpenClaw works. Now, OpenClaw isn't the only autonomous AI agent on the block. If you want to set up an AI agent that automatically improves its skills over time, then I recommend you check out this video right here.